salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.
Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm your Texas Ag Coach Commissioner, Sid Miller. Hey, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters, and right here on RFD-TV. Today, we're going to talk about an approach to the next generation of farming that helps reconnect children to Texas agriculture. When students know more about where their food comes from, they eat more vegetables, make healthier lifestyle choices, and have the power of knowledge when it comes to sustainable agriculture. Urban agriculture initiatives are becoming increasingly popular all across our nation. As urban areas continue to develop, the world has started to question how we'll be able to grow enough food to feed our society in the future. But even so, there's a large portion of our population that still doesn't know how their food got on their plate. That's why school gardens and farm projects vital to help educate our youth are so important. Luckily, leaders in our agriculture industry have introduced programs like farmers markets, child nutrition programs, and extension service to help support urban agriculture. Now, Texas agriculture touches every Texan every day. And when I first took office, I knew I had to do my part to spread awareness and educate Texas children on the important role that agriculture plays in our lives. That's why I launched the Farm Fresh initiative to focus on creating meaningful connections between Texas farmers, ranchers, our schools, child care providers, and our local communities. Now, schools across Texas are following suit through agriculture programs and career and technology programs. So, let's join Tammy Arnder as she visits with the Wiley School District, and students learn about how they're promoting healthy lifestyles and are helping improve the Texas economy through agriculture.
Less than 30 miles northeast of Dallas is the Wiley Independent School District. This district offers something unique here in this urban setting.
We just don't have a whole lot of kids that are able to keep their animals at home anymore. So we provide this facility so these students get the opportunity to get a genuine feel what it's like to be raised on a farm. So they have to come out twice a day.
Ken Nicholson is the agriculture coordinator and the manager of the FO Birmingham Ag Center.
In Wiley, we have a great program set up in how the kids do a course of sequences. And so in Wiley, the students get the opportunity to learn in the classroom, yet bring it out to the ag facility. So they get to raise their own specific animals, whether it's steers, lambs, goats, pigs, chickens. It just a wide variety of things that they can do out here at the Birmingham Ag Center.
So the student-run farm is just that, a place where these high school students can really dig in and get their feet wet and their hands dirty in all areas of agriculture. And many of these students don't necessarily come from a farming or ranching background. For Rance Smith, a graduate of the program, he's gone on to teach ag at Winsboro High School.
And going out and getting to connect with so many people across the state, and even after I left Wiley, going and connecting with people across the country and getting a full understanding of what it means to help and be a leader. And that's what this program helped me achieve, was what it means to be a leader.
The ag program at Wiley exists to help students focus on their future, whether they want to attend college or learn a trade. It's all about making sure they can leave high school with the tools to be productive and have a hireable skill. For Jason Greiner, the Wiley Economic Development Director, that's become a valuable partnership.
We've got the manufacturing companies to open their doors and to show us the processes that are in place and actually take what some of the students might be learning in the classroom and actually implement that in the real world. And through that and those partnerships, it really kind of, I think, opened the door for future growth of Manufacturing Day and also the Build Your Future Career Day that we do here on site where we're at today.
Another partnership is with the Wiley Chamber of Commerce. Each year, they put on a rodeo, which is a big draw for the county.
We have cowboys that come from really all over the country. And it's a tremendous event for the community because we highlight a lot of our local businesses, our nonprofits, and there's still people in the community that don't even know that we have a rodeo, and we still have, our numbers are traditionally 4,000 to 5,000 people will come out on any given night.
It doesn't always happen in other school districts. And when we talk about what kind of values we want to teach our kids, well, when we teach them the focus of projects and starting and finishing things and getting up and feeding cattle when you don't want to, just like feeding a project, learning how to judge, learning how to do all those things, those values that I grew up with on the plains of West Texas were taught here.
The ag program kind of propel my future in just agriculture itself, but it also just kind of propels my future in leadership positions. I've really kind of gotten to pursue those leadership positions, and they've really kind of helped me with my speaking, which is kind of putting myself out there and being able to serve and love others the way that the Lord has called me to.
I'm Tammy Arender for Texas Agriculture Matters.
Well, thank you, Tammy. Hey, today it's my pleasure to have Jason Hudson joining me. Jason is the Director of Career and Technical Education at Wiley ISD. Jason, thanks for being here and sharing your time with us today. So, to get started, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me today. Sure. It's an honor to be here. Jason Hudson, and I grew up in Northeast Texas. Grew up in a rural community, and I got to let that impact my life and actually frame my life moving forward. One of 7 children. Wow. That were still associated with agriculture in one fashion or another, and most ended up going into the education field, though. Married, Emma and myself have 3 kids, and 2 of the 3 are, as of right now, going into education, and the 3rd is taking ag mechanics, I think, as of right now, this morning, I think.
That's a great field, great field. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. Talk about the Career and Technical Education program at Wiley ISD.
Well, Wiley was, not too long ago, was still small town America, and it has grown a lot in the last 10 to 15 years. Just for an example, in 1990, we had roughly 2,000 students at Wiley ISD, and this year we're right at 20,000.
Holy cow.
So you break that down, 10 years ago we had 2,000 career and tech students, and this year we have 5,000. 5,000. So we are growing very fast, and we're always trying to make adjustments in those programs to make sure that we're servicing our kids' needs and making sure that they're ready for the next level, whether it's the workforce or tech school or post-secondary education.
Some of our major universities in Texas don't have 20,000 students. That's a lot.
We're catching up with them.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the programs you offer there to your ag students?
For our ag students, at Wiley, what we do is have an emphasis in animal science and just have a tremendous setup there for our kids. We have 2 ag teachers on each high school. We have 2 high schools.
2 high schools.
And so we have 2 ag teachers on each campus, and then we have an ag center coordinator. We'll talk about our ag center in a few minutes, but it's a great place for our kids to have their animals and to learn at, but we also have a true classroom setup on each campus where we teach animal science. We also offer floral design and advanced floral design as well. And then a lot of those students will also take welding classes and construction technology as well. Those are still true independent pathways. So we have an ag pathway, and then you still take independent programs of construction tech and welding.
So y'all got a complete vocational program.
Yes, sir.
Not just academics.
We have what we call now, in education, we have 18 programs of study, and this ranges from
18?
18. And so we're always looking at the Texas workforce numbers and what's out there and engaging that with our student interest.
So you've gone kind of a little country school, but 2,000 students is not a small school, but 20,000 is huge.
It's huge.
So tell us about about your urban agriculture in your classroom.
Right.
How does that work? With
Well,
you're basically in an urban area now.
Right, and years ago we had an ag center built where it's at right now in Wiley, and when they built this was on the edge of town, right? We're going to put the ag barn, ag center, and we're going to put it on the edge of town. Well, before long, just within time, it's been surrounding by concrete and residential and commercial, but we've been able to retain those 37 acres.
What's in that 37 acres? What is an ag center?
37 acres. In that, we have what our kids can take advantage of is we have our ag barn that's over 11,000 square feet, and it's fitted for steers and sheep and goats and chickens. But then we have other 4,000 square foot that is dedicated for pigs. We have 2 different pig barns.
Okay.
And so we always want to make sure that the kids have their choice when they come in. If they want to go in with cattle or pigs or sheep and goats, that's left up to them. Their advisor will work with them, but they have a place to hold that animal.
So these kids that live in the city limits, they'll never get to spend their youth on a farm, can actually use the school's farm and have a livestock project.
Not a problem. We can house that for that
great.
student, and we can service that student in that area.
Well, folks, hey, we're going to have to take a break. We'll be right back with more from Jason Hudson right here on Texas Agriculture Matters. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, folks, to Texas Agriculture Matters. I'm your host, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. Let's continue our talk with the Director of Career and Technical Education at Wiley ISD, Jason Hudson. Jason, you know, a lot of these schools, especially the big urban schools, the administration, the school board members, they have no connection to ag. So they're trying to drop ag. But your school is not. You're doing just the opposite. Why is ag education so important in Wiley ISD?
Well, the students have that opportunity to go through, and like I was saying, the growth of Wiley, but we still need our students on their student interest. That needs to be honored, right? And they still have that interest of where does that side of beef come from? How's that animal grown? And then our advisors help recruit. We start recruiting in the junior highs and talking to our kids. We take rabbits to those kids. Yeah, that wins every time, right? And so that helped encourage those kids to look at being involved with our FFA program. And so most of our kids that are in the FFA program also have a livestock animal.
Well, that's great. You know, we've talked a lot about the students and serving their needs.
Yes, sir.
But y'all are very community-oriented, right?
Yes.
I mean, y'all have a stock show, you have county fairs. Yes. I'm a rodeo cowboy. Y'all got one of the best rodeos in North Texas. Tell us about some of those events, especially your rodeo you put on.
So we're very fortunate, even though Wiley has grown, the grassroots are still very deep there. We're very fortunate to partner with Collin College, the Wiley EDC, and the Chamber. Every September, we co-host a rodeo with the Chamber, and it's a sellout. We have 4,000 to 5,000 attendees on a Friday and Saturday night. It's a full house, and it's right there behind our ag center. It's on our ag property. It's right behind our ag barn.
Wow.
And so it's an opportunity for the youth to see some of our heritage of agriculture.
Yeah. Let's get back. That's great. Thanks for sharing that with us. Let's talk about the students some more. You caught my interest. You said you had 18 different vocational programs. What are some of these occupations that these kids get trained on?
So it starts going from our accounting, nursing, construction tech, welding, culinary arts. We have a full operational cafe for our students that's open to the public, that our kids can come in, they learn more about the food and the process of it, from the back end of the kitchen to the front end. So we have a cafe that's open 3 days a week, and it is to the public, and the kids can come in and learn the process of the cooking with the food, and then also the hospitality side of it as well.
So I could get one of these students to come and cook a meal at my house for I mean, just like cater it, they could do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Their food at the 544 Cafe is fantastic. It's wonderful.
That's a great idea for my next anniversary right there.
And a lot of those kids that walk out, and you're talking about the 18 programs of study, a lot of those kids will walk out. This past year, we had over 1,000 kids earn a industry-based certification. So the kids at the 544 Cafe, they're walking out with a food handler certification that's industry-based, industry recognized.
Well, that's very, very broad and very wide. There's something there. It sounds like just about anybody that wants to learn a trade. Maybe not go to college, but if you want to get out and make a lot of money, these trades, they pay good.
And we try to honor it as much as we can. In the spring, we have a Build Your Future Day also at the Ag Center. And that's where we invite area contractors, area businesses, area engineer companies to literally come out, and they have set up out there. We have the room, we have the facility, and they can sit out there and show off their company. Their HR department can talk to our kids. Our students exchange their resumes, and it's a step, or another step, I should say, in the right direction of getting that student ready to go into the next level.
Oh, I mean, you're teaching them life skills. I think
Yes, sir.
This is great, and thank you for sharing that with our viewers today. And last question, why do you think Texas agriculture matters?
I think the kids need to know, like we were saying a while ago, I think the kids need to know, as we become more rural, where's this food coming from in the full process? We were just talking about the animal side of it, but also the crop side of it as well. And doing that through ag, kids can have that opportunity. And it's nice to know that in 1,200 school districts in the state of Texas, that most of our programs have some type of ag program in there. And I'm glad at Wiley ISD that we have 2 strong ag programs, one on each high school, making a difference in our students for the youth.
Exactly right. No farmers, no food, right?
Yes, sir. Well put.
Thanks for being with us today.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You've been a great guest, so thank you very much. Hey, folks, now let's take a look at another one of our great Go Texan partners. For over 20 years, the Texas Department of Agriculture's Go Texan program has helped promote products made right here in the Lone Star State. From boots to salsa, Go Texan members make the best stuff on earth. Now, friends, let's take a look at one of these fine Texas businesses and why they are Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
Texas as a state has a great history and a great, mythology, I guess, across the world. And being an authentic, grain-to-glass Texas product, we wanted to get that authenticity and join Go Texan immediately. Our building was first built in 1911 as Fort Worth Fire Station number 5. It is actually the second Fort Worth Firehouse number 5 because the first one burned down in a tragic 1909 fire that nearly consumed the whole city of Fort Worth.
It's got a lot of ambiance with it and a lot of different things around it that you can just go back and look at things and think, wow, this is what it was like in 1911.
It was originally for horse-drawn fire wagons, and so they had horses, they had wagons. As the fire trucks came about and grew in the mid-1960s, the fire trucks became too large and they had to build a new fire station. So it was decommissioned in the mid-1960s. It sat and almost collapsed until about 1995. A gentleman bought it, restored it, and then we moved in 2016.
The hole where the vodka column goes up is about 25 feet tall, and that is where historically the fire pole was, but it's a really neat symbolism here that we throw our vodka column up the fire pole.
This seemed like a unique opportunity. It seemed like something that was totally different, something that would really make a difference in the market. And instead of that rubbing alcohol taste, the vodka is some of the smoothest vodka you've ever had.
We bring in corn and black-eyed peas in a flour-made mixture already, and we will mash it, which means we're basically cooking it in a mixture of water and other enzymes until we break down those carbohydrates into a sugar. And then we'll use yeast to convert that into alcohol, and they'll sit in our fermenters for a period of time until all the alcohol is made and all the sugars are absorbed. And then we'll run it through the equipment behind me here, which is our still, which goes through our various columns to make alcohol.
When Scott does the distilling process and is able to separate out the heads, the hearts, and the tails of the vodka, make a really huge difference in the quality of the product. And when you do that by hand in small batches, it really makes a difference.
We really want to make the product unique because anybody can just go out and have a distillery license and then buy somebody's alcohol that's already made, and then you just put your label on it. And we want it to be where it's our product that we're doing, so that's why we need the grain to glass method.
I think that the key for grain to glass products are using the actual grains. Whether you're using corn, which over 90% of most vodkas are made from corn or made from wheat. Some are made from grapes. We chose to use black-eyed peas and corn because it gave it a smoothness that you can't get in any other product.
The grains that you see over there with our bottling line is really the grains that go into our vodka. So we'll use water, enzymes, yeast, and our corn and black-eyed peas. That basically goes into our mixture for everything. And then we also have brown spirits. We have a whiskey that also uses the corn and black-eyed peas. And we also have a whiskey that uses 100% sorghum grain as well, so that's all Texas grown as well. And then our gin is the only product that we don't make here grain to glass. We open our tasting rooms on Fridays and Saturdays for the most part. We'll do private events as well. But our tasting room upstairs is basically a full licensed bar where we offer about 47 different drinks.
Scott and I were best friends prior to getting in business together, and we make a great partnership. Scott and I are the co-owners. He comes from a CFO accounting background. I came from a banking background and growing up on a farm, so it's been a great partnership. He handles all the distilling and regulatory record keeping and accounting. I handle all of the sales and marketing, and it's just been a great partnership because we have such great skills that offset each other.
It gave us both an opportunity to control our own destiny and our own, timeline with whatever we wanted to do. And alcohol is just one of those things that's recession proof. As you can see, if times are good, people drink. Times are bad, people drink.
We joined the Go Texan program immediately when we went into business because we knew it would add value. As we've gone out and sold the product, the Go Texan label immediately gives you that sense of authenticity and that originality and good branding. My name is Todd Gregory.
I'm Scott Billings. I'm co-owner of Black Eye Distilling.
And we are Go Texan proud.
Well, neighbors, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about urban agriculture in our Texas classrooms. As our population continues to grow, communities are often faced with the lack of fresh produce. That's why I'm proud agriculture programs across the state are cultivating change and are educating our youth about agriculture. As always, I'd like to close by saying thanks to every Texas farmer and rancher who works from sunrise to sunset to help keep our rural heritage alive. And finally, here's today's cowboy logic. The difference between stupidity and a genius, genius has its limits. Thank you, God bless, and remember friends, Texas agriculture matters.